Now,
What are you doing?
I'm washing the van.
Why are you washing the van?
I need it all day when we head down to Metter. You know, Rob's got all that stuff.
Oh, you need it all day?
Yeah, all day.
It's definitely a lot of stuff.
I'm not sure why the developer needs to go, but at least I'll look good.
So about a year and a half ago, I had left this very comfy job to start this company. And I was all alone, it was just me. And I had remembered that a buddy of mine had left comfy jobs in the past, about a year and a half, 2 years before I had started this company. He's down, all the way down in Metter, Georgia. And his name is Grant. And I thought, man, I'm gonna reach out to Grant and just get his experience, just get his thoughts on leaving comfy corporate jobs and launching your own company. I thought it would be this kind of happy-go-lucky field trip. And so a buddy of mine and I drove down to Metter, Georgia, hung out for the day. It was a fascinating experience. Small town Georgia is its own thing. And going from the big city to small town, it's almost breathtakingly different. We were hanging out and the mayor came by. We were hanging out and Georgia's Grown came by. We were hanging out and the guys from the public works just hung out. It just swung by and we're like, hey, what's going on? And we talked. And I asked Grant questions about what it was like to leave something comfy and start something new. It was humbling. I don't know if inspiring is the right word, but it was humbling. And it was realistic. And now a year and a half later, I realized that it was the truth. And so this was my journey. And I got two co-founders now, Rob and Ted. You met them already. You may not have realized you met them already, but you have. And so I want to recreate that trip, and that's what we're going to do today. A guy named Calvin will be joining us. Calvin is an investor at Oinkching and has also invested in another aquaponics farm. So it was like, why not? Jump in the car, let's go do this together. So that's what we're doing today. So come join us as we head down to Better Fresh Farms in Metter, Georgia.
With Better Fresh Farms in Metter, Georgia. This is one of our hydroponic container farms. We're currently growing a lot of romaine. You can see here on our left side. This is one of 4 systems we run, growing produce year-round hydroponically. What makes this produce unique is that it's grown indoors for the duration of its life cycle. From a seed to a mature plant, this is exposed to no outdoor air, no pests, and the temperatures, humidity levels, and nutrients available to them are optimal throughout their life cycle. So you get a fresh local product that's got a better shelf life, more attractive texture, and better flavor than what you would typically see in a grocery store. The value of this produce is in the nutrition and the density of it. Because we're a local producer and we can get the food in our customers' hands more quickly than most traditional farms can for perishable greens, we really hit the trend right now for organic, fresh food, and we can do that year-round. We're able to start with the seeds indoors, and over the course of about 5 to 7 weeks go from that seed to a full-grown mature head of lettuce, cuttable herb, a radish, any of the produce that we're able to grow in these vertical hydroponic systems. We basically stagger our grow operations in a way where every week we have seedlings available to transplant following each harvest, so that through each growth cycle, every week essentially generates a new harvest. So 52 weeks a year, we're able to not only provide local food into our market, but also as a farming business, cash flow. Some of the feedback we hear about our produce, for example, one being our local school system here in Candler County, is that the produce is more attractive and more flavorful. It entices people to grab a salad when more often than not they may not consider that option. So the idea that we can bring a product to market that may get somebody who's not really interested in healthy eating, and we can get them to entertain that idea, it's a big motivator for us to continue that. I would say what's better about Metter is the community, the true sense of community here. It's not just a buzzword, it's not something they're trying to achieve. It really does seem to be an area where the people have really bought into this idea that they want to make sure their city is worth living in and worth visiting and worth their children growing up and then establishing a life and a career here as well. We hope to be a part of that. Our goal over time is to grow and provide jobs here as well, and do it in a healthy way. So if we can provide quality, fresh local food for our community, as well as provide jobs in that, and really highlight the idea that technology-assisted farming is part of the future of agriculture, then I feel like we will have done our job.
Hey, man.
Hey, Andrew.
All right. Cool. So I brought my guys down here. We're not trying to learn hydroponics. I brought them down here because a year and a half ago, when last I saw you, we walked through everything and I was asking you questions at the barbecue place, Papa
Bucks.
Papa Bucks. All right, we were sitting in Papa Bucks eating, and I asked you, would you do it all over again? And knowing what you know now, would you do it all over again? And you were like, no. And that was a year and a half ago. And then we talked about just how difficult it is, what you go through mentally. And that's what I wanted my guys to hear. So talk to us a little bit about why did you choose to do this? Where did you come from, and why this? And how was it? How has it been to do this for 4 years?
Yeah.
5 years?
4.5 now.
Walk us through it.
I was born in a rural community around farming, and I can honestly say the duration of my childhood and adolescence, I never considered farming as a career path. It wasn't something I saw, on one hand, that you could make a lot of money at. You didn't see a whole lot of wealthy farmers around, and two, who wants to be on the tractor and all the labor that's associated with farming, all the equipment, all the diesel, depending on the weather to produce your crop, all that was, it's cool. Farming's great. I appreciate farmers.
Sounds good in a country song.
Yeah, it's, in theory, farming's wonderful. It's the salt of the earth people who do that. But it really took me getting away from that, going to college in Atlanta, having a child, seeing some of my older family members who used to do some of these traditional farming and cooking methods starting to go away, for me to realize we were losing something that was really valuable to me. Over that period of time, I was also working desk jobs out of college, basically finance, number crunching type jobs, and I'd gotten really burned out on that.
That's where you and I met.
Yeah, well, we met at Equifax.
We were in a cubicle farm. We were in a cubicle farm, and you had been a banker before then.
Right.
Yeah.
And I seemed to have kind of found this niche of working with numbers, but I wasn't satisfied by it. I wanted something that I felt gave me purpose, something I could pursue, put my stamp on, and make a difference, which sounds a little bit cliche, but I wanted that out of my job. I didn't want to hang my head when I got out of bed in the morning and dread what I did for work.
Yeah.
So kind of organically, no pun intended, I started looking into career options.
Nice dad joke. Nice dad joke.
Appreciate
There'll be a lot of those today. We're all dads.
So I was searching for a career. I thought I could build a business around myself, and it turned out to be farming. I looked into container farming by way of an article I read on CNN one day at lunch. And one thing led to another. The more I looked into it, the more I realized there was a need for local food, for better local food options. And there weren't a lot of people our age starting farms. Then on top of that, the financial feasibility of a container farm, cash flowing 52 weeks a year, it was a different spin on farming. And my banker side clicked. The light bulb went off, and I thought this could work. On top of that, you've got the trends of population growth. There's a lot of people who are going to need to be fed, and domestic food production has declined over the recent.
So you look at these setup, you got 4 back-to-back, got a 5th one coming. You've built a breakout area here. You're in this, big old building, part of the innovation center. But I know from your story that it has not been easy. Tell us about your darkest moment and how you got through it.
Sure. So I was roughly 6 or 7 months into starting my business. My older cousin, who was helping me at the time, decided to go back to timber and pursue that for his career. It was pretty clear at that point I didn't have a real great plan on the produce side. It wasn't coming together. I had not identified the customer base that I thought was going to sustain us starting out, that I believed was there based on research. Reality just proved to be different. There's a difference between what a customer desires and whether or not they will actually buy that from you.
That's good advice.
So truthfully, you can provide a great product, and people will support that. People will buy that if it's better than what other options are available to them, but you have to provide that in a format that's convenient or works in their lifestyle. And I found that it didn't matter that I had great quality food year round. I had to figure out a way to get that in people's hands, and that has been the challenge. So that first year and a half after my cousin left, it was me by myself, on my knees, sometimes in tears, wondering, why did I leverage what assets I had to start this business?
We talked, while we were having barbecue, we talked about our wives and keeping our wives involved, and we have slightly different approaches. Your approach was just to kind of drip feed and bring her along. Mine is to plant the seed, sticking with it, and then let her water it. Because what happens is I give my wife a problem, she solves the problem, right? And then she wants to see me actually go implement it. So I just kind of plant the seed and I let it sit. And then she comes around to how to solve it, and then she wants to see me do it. And that's how I get my wife to do crazy things, like start a business with 3 young children in the house. And it's worked. She works like 3 or 4 jobs now, because I don't make enough to pay everything. So she works, I'm not exaggerating, 3 or 4 jobs. And then we make it work, and it's amazing. What's amazing is that they stay with us.
Yeah, that's the truth. I'm still surprised mine's at home.
Yeah, I wake up each morning and I'm like, oh, fooled her again. One more day. So how did you get yourself out of that 6 months in, dark hole, by yourself, lonely? Because I feel like I've lived that life a little bit in the last 6-8 months until Ted joined me full time. Now Rob Sharps, I feel the momentum changing, but I was there. I was in that dark hole. Like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Truthfully, it was progress. I mean, you continue to persevere until something sticks. I knew I had a good idea. I knew people appreciated what I was doing, the product we had. And to be honest, things were rough for a while until the tide started to turn, until I made some sales connections. I picked up a couple restaurants who started working with us week in and week out. I started leaving the farmers markets on Saturday mornings.
Can you get me a discount to Husks?
Yes.
Good. Continue. That's all. So wrap it up, everybody. No.
One quick phone call.
Yeah, good.
Those guys, they're great, and it's people who value the food.
Yep.
They want to put the best plate of food out there, and thankfully, they want to use the best greens around.
Yeah.
And we happen to have those.
That's exciting. Man, I know the guys that I brought, Ted and Calvin and Rob, listening to your story, they were just kind of flabbergasted, and that's what I want. I wanted them to see that this is the way it's going to be for a little while, that if we can just survive and keep working, climb up the hill one day at a time, that maybe we might arrive at some place that we want to get to. We might fail miserably. But I think most failure happens when you surrender.
Right.
And when you
have
quit.
to swing for it, though. You know, you either ask the questions like everybody talks about the rest of your life for not pursuing it, or you go after it. And for me, I had done the corporate life for long enough to know that I was not going to be satisfied by it. and you either concede and continue to do that, or you make a change. And this job for me was not only a career change, but I wanted to be happy with what I did. I wanted to have some purpose. And at the end of the day, if you're doing something that's worth it and that people appreciate, there was never a reason for me to stop. Money, of course, was an issue at times. I wasn't really sure how I'd get the sales, but the fact of the matter was I wanted to serve something to people that was better than what they could currently get. And it's worth it to continue to try and do that.
Cool. I think we end it there. That was perfect, man. I appreciate it. We'll stay in touch. Hey, there's community banks in Metter, so you never know. Oinkching might be on the shelves near you pretty soon.
I sure hope so.
And you're gonna give me a bag of is it kale, or you're gonna give me some iceberg lettuce?
Salad greens.
Salad greens.
It's our signature salad blend.
My wife thinks so.
Specialty hydroponics.
I will deal with it, but my wife thinks so. All right. Later, man.
Take care.
Appreciate it.